Assalamualaikum everyone, this is me Hania. So welcome to another my YouTube channel, welcome to another video, welcome to another lecture. Today once again we learn something new together, and today once again I have a great lecture for you and we shall again learn something new. So if you are not lecture subscribe my YouTube channel, please do that, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get the notification of every of my video and you can go through that. If you have any question of English to my sense, you can comment with me any on my video, I will go through that. So let's start with today's lecture. Today we learn something that's not usual and you would have known about it before, and you may have not known about that before, but you use that in your daily conservation. So since and for, today I will tell you what's the use of since and for, or how we can use them. So let's start. So today we will do use of since and for. So first of all I have use of since and for. So for your information, first of all let me tell you use of since and for. We use since and for both in our daily life conservation, but sometimes we use since in place of for, and sometimes we use for in place of since. So what is a direct time or good time to use them, I will tell you today. So first of all, both for and since are time expressions. We use them to express the time, we use them to tell about the time. So for and since, they both are the time expressions. Since I am calling you since night, or I am calling you since yesterday. But if I say for 2 days, I'm calling you for 2 days. Since 2 days, like you would be disturbed in that, if which time expressions and go to that. So I will tell you that how we can get to know about the direct time expression or a great time expression. So what is their usage? For and since talk about action that started in the past and continue to now. So like for and since, like they are actions that have started in past, time has gone that they were started, but now they are again continuing. So the time that have passed and now they are continuing. So that is basically the usage of since and for. So the things that are started in past and continue now, that is usage of since and for. Use of since and for now. For is a length of time, like the time being, or it is a length of time. Whereas since is a point in time, like length of time and point in time. Length of time basically means time being, and point of time means started before the time. So use of for, first of all, is used to talk about how long something has been happening or for what length of time. So we are used to talk how long something is happening. For that usage we use for telling about something, like he has lived in Florida for 9 months. Like since 9 months I can't say, because for 9 months you have lived there, something that is being happening now. And my parents have been married for 20 years. For 20 years means 20 years ago my parents were married. So these both are the words in which we are using for, that are talking about how long something has been happening until now that thing is being happened. So use of for, again, a very common mistake made by majority of us, that we tend to use from instead of for. Like some of us or majority of us are used, like we tend the words from, like we mistakenly for instead of for we use from, but it is for. So we have the commonly use of for with since. Okay, so that's a common mistake majority of us make. So I want you all to go through this mistake and do not do that again. That from is not used, we use for instead of from. And like he has been under the weather from 2 days now. Under the weather means he has been sad from for 2 days now. Okay, like the correct we are not using the weather, under the weather. So he has been under the weather for 2 days now. So majority of us make this mistake, that we use from instead of for. So for is the correct one and from is the wrong one. Use of since. So how we can use since now is used to talk about something, that exact time something has started, for telling about exact days, like from 2 days. We don't know from which hour that thing is happening. From exactly we point on something, that's called the since. So no one has seen him since last week. Since last week means that since the time no one has seen him. That's a pointing a proper time. I have been waiting since 2 o'clock. Like 2 o'clock is a proper time that is being said. Then I have Let us know about these things. Now let me tell you about these things. For and since, these both are the prepositions, the part of speeches that they are prepositions. Since is used for an action that has started at a specific point in time, the continue in the past and is still continuing. Like something that has started from past but is still continuing is called since, and a period of time in the past, present, or future is called the for. And examples of since are since June, since 10:30, since 1995, since last week, last Monday, since last year, since last night, etc. I have been living here since 2004. I have known you since you were a kid. And then I have for, that is examples of for 2 weeks, for 6 hours, for a decade, for a century, for a long time, etc. And it's the examples like I waited for an hour and he still didn't come. She'll stay at my place for 2 days. So these are the usage. So identify the correct time expression for the following time markers. You have to tell me the correct time. June. So how we use June? Since June, I will say. Okay, then a long time. For a long time, for I will use with that. Then a century, that means 100 years. I will say for a century. Okay, and then I have last night. Since last night, I will use since with it. So June with June, since June, a long time, for a long time, a century, that means a year, 100 years. So for a century, and last night, since last night, I will say. Fill in the blanks with since and for. So they have lived in Manchester that's a long time since yeah. And you in the for, and then again I have for a long time, and then he has written 5 books dash I met him since I met him. Okay, and then I'm having I haven't been to the beach dash last summer since last summer. Then I have you used the internet dash you arrived since you arrived. Then we haven't heard any noise dash many hours night for many hours. Okay, we haven't seen the elderly lady dash for several weeks. Then he hasn't even opened any book now or yesterday. So since yesterday he hasn't opened any book. So match the two time markers with since and for. The 15th of June, since the 15th of June, and then I have 2 months for 2 months, and then I have 1919 since 1919, and then I had the 16th century since the 16th century, a fortnight for a fortnight, and then I had the beginning of time since the beginning of time, and then I have a decade for a decade, and then I had the last time we spoke since last time we spoke, a week now for a week now, and then I have the past 10 minutes for the past 10 minutes. So rearrange the jumbled words to form a sentence by adding since and for the given sentences markers, sentence time given markers. Anything I eaten lunchtime. So I will say I haven't eaten anything since lunchtime, or for since lunchtime. Have known, we have more than 10. We have known her for more than 10 years. You have a long time lived in this. Have you lived in this since a long time? Tennis haven't played last summer. Last summer tennis since last summer tennis was not played. We can say Gil is a good friend. We were at school together. We were at school since we were at school together. Gil was a good friend. Jack had the party last week. Have you seen Jack at the party last week? Question mark. So I hope you like today's lecture. See you in the next lecture. Till that, take self. Allah Hafiz.